Hey guys, it's JW, and I'm just going to go through my YouTube timeline. I used to do this quite a bit back in the day when I first started making videos and trying to build my channel. And I think I'd like to go back to it once in a while. It was fun, and I just go through some of the people I like to follow. The problem with that is a lot of what I like to follow may not be of interest to the general public. So I'm going to start. Following some of the news channels so I can comment on the different news stories and just see what develops. It's totally non-scripted, of course, and so we'll see what happens. Anyway, you may have heard of the radio host Michael Savage. Back in the day,
look at these idiots.
Back in the day when before we had access to internet and YouTube and all that stuff. I used to listen to Michael Savage, and he was one of those guys who he was don't miss radio back then. I know it sounds crazy to people who are a lot younger than me, and can't imagine people getting all excited over a radio program, but it's not like today. It wasn't like today, where you had all this competition, different people talking about the same subject matter. You were very limited, especially if you were conservative. Most of the talk radio stuff was liberal, oriented toward the left or the liberal audience. So Michael was one of those guys who pretty much, said what he wanted to say, and didn't worry about the repercussions. And I always found him to be amusing as well as very bright. So anyway, let's listen. And I haven't listened to this video. We'll listen to it together for a little while and see what it is titled Tesla Protesters Confronted by Michael Savage. So apparently Michael Savage, he's out on walks a lot, driving around a lot. So he must be commenting on it. Let me turn around and see what.
Look at them. Look at these losers, one after the other. Look at these losers. Bottom-feeding loser. Jealous loser.
Yeah, I can see Michael stirring up some crap by yelling at these losers, but he's right. I imagine being angry enough to destroy another person's property because the person who invented the vehicle, in this case Elon Musk, is a member of Trump's team. I don't say cabinet. He's not a cabinet member. He's a member of the team. I don't think he's a cabinet member, but he's more of an advisor, I guess you would call him. And I think he's done some pretty good things with that Doge. He's dug up a lot of stuff, a lot of corruption.
Look at these idiots. Look at these idiots, folks. Look at these losers. Look at these self-righteous losers. Look at these losers. Look at these losers. Sad to do that to your child. It's child abuse.
Michael's referring to the woman walking by with her child, and I agree with him. I think it's good to get your children involved in politics or some cause that you might want to walk for or even protest against something that you disagree with. But in this case, I think it's petty and has no bearing on society in general. It's not going to. I mean, think about it for a second. The left is angry because Trump won the election, so they're going to go after anyone. And I mean anyone. It could be you or me or whoever voted for Trump. They could be subject to abuse and could be subject to assault or property damage and numerous other things. And we see them all the time on YouTube. You can pull up things. People were ripping people's signs off their lawn, which is not the end of the world, but it's still vandalism, and they were spray painting people's homes. It's just and they believe that it is their right to do it because they don't like the candidate. It's ridiculous. This is America, and we don't operate that way. So anyway, I can think of no better speaker to put them in place than Michael Savage. He doesn't, like I say, he doesn't pull any punches. Let's go back and listen a little bit.
Look at these losers. Look at you. Did nothing in your life. Nothing in your life. Losers. Welfare recipients. Welfare man. You're on candid camera. You are. You got nothing better to do? You jealous? You jealous of the man? Is that it? Jealous loser. No, you're not. You're a communist, anti-American loser. You're jealous of success. That's what you are. Losers, communist, Marin County bums. All of you losers. Go back to Brooklyn. Loser. You're on candid camera. Loser. I don't talk to communists. Yes, you are. You're a loser. Why do you hate Musk? Why do you hate Musk? So what? You're a self-righteous moron. No, I won't be quiet. Who the hell do you think you are, you loser? Yes, I am. You're a nobody. A broken Hulk. Loser.
Yeah, so there he is, Michael Savage, pulling no punches as usual. And, I think I tend to agree with him on some of it, especially some of these old hippies that are out there. They probably have plenty of money, and some of them probably even owned a Tesla, because that was very popular among the left and the liberals, because it's an electric car, and it's the electric car. It's not a hybrid; it's an electric car. So to then turn on the guy because he is a member of Trump's team, it's ridiculous. It's for instance. I was watching a movie the other night, and one of the stars in the movie was. I knew they had backed Kamala Harris, and I was not a big fan of hers. I'm so glad that she didn't win. I'm happier that she didn't win than the fact that Trump did win, because she would have been a horrible president and a horrible representative for our country, as far as I'm concerned. Not bright. Deer in the headlights, very, very unaware and unintelligent, and really didn't have anything to add to the narrative of America, as far as I'm concerned. But, I didn't, because this particular star was in the movie. He was Tom Hanks. He's a big left-winger, and I wasn't going to not watch the movie because of that. He did a pretty good job in the movie. It was called A Man Called Otto. It was an older movie. And when I say older, it wasn't that old. It was probably, 7, 8 years old. But it was good. I thought he did a real good job. I actually like his acting. I'm not too crazy about the guy personally. I've seen him interviewed a few times, and he's, like many actors, Robert De Niro is a classic example of an actor who's a really, really good actor, or was a good actor. I think he's a little over the hill now, but when you see him interviewed, he can barely form a complete sentence. And I always found that odd, because I know when they're acting, they're pretending to be someone else, but they should be pretty good on their feet, pretty quick on their feet, because they're used to delivering lines. But him, and I've seen a few others like that too, where they're almost painfully shy, it seems. Dustin Hoffman was another one. It was painful to listen to an interview with them, because they barely can speak. And they made millions of dollars as actors. But again, they were acting, they were pretending to be someone else. So I guess maybe that has something to do with it. And, they have directors and people holding up signs or cards or whatever. I don't know, but as far as ad libbing goes, they're terrible. Most of them. There are exceptions, but for the most part, I find actors and actresses to be terrible. I guess we can call them all actors now. I don't think there's any distinction between actor and actress now. It used to be. I haven't watched the Academy Awards in decades, so do they still present Best Actress Award, or is it just Best Actor by a male or Best Actor by a female? I mean, you know how politically correct all this nonsense is. So, but anyway, let's listen and see what Michael has
to say. Well, folks, it's bad for my heart condition. I can't stand these people. These are the reason America's dying, because of these self-righteous phonies, these left-wing bastards. What bastards? Here's another one. Here's another loser. Wait. You loser idiots, you. You should be ashamed of yourself. You losers, all of you. A loser. All of you. All of you are losers. Yeah, you're winners. Look at you. Take a look at you, some winners. Look at this, folks. Take a look. Take a look. Look at this. This is America. You gonna break my phone? Go ahead. Okay. What's your name? What's your name? Thank you.
What's yours? Yeah.
You're threatening me because I'm calling the police. Take a walk back. I'm gonna call the police on you in 1 minute. Get away from me. Yes. Why do you hate Musk? Because you're jealous. What have you done in your life? What have you created? Have you created anything? What? No, you don't. But what you want to do is hate a man who's successful. Look at you. You're in love, right? Two of you are lovers. You love America. Look at the hatred. Look at you, how sad you are. Look what you wound up. Look how you wound up. This is the best you can do in your life? If you knew who I was, you wouldn't be talking like that. You're a nobody. Have you achieved anything in your life? He has? What are you, a doctor, lawyer, Indian chief? I won't have a nice day. You know what? You've just been seen by 45,000 people. Yes. You're going to go Kia Tesla now? Go Kia Tesla. Go ahead. Show what great people you are. You see these losers? Can you believe these people? This is what they do? Look at this. That's what they do. Can you believe these people?
Yeah, so Michael getting up close with a couple of people there, and I'm not that passionate about this particular subject that I would go out one way or the other. But certainly, listen, I'm a free enterprise guy. Elon Musk made a product that sold a lot of cars, very high-priced item, and I'm sure a lot of the people who bought them were far left and left-wingers because, again, it's an electric vehicle and they're big on electricity and electric vehicles. So, it's kind of ironic, isn't it? If Elon Musk had backed Joe Biden, they would love the Tesla. So the contradiction among the left is always amusing to me because they say one thing and then immediately they go the opposite way because of the agenda. It's always about their agenda. And if you're not doing what they believe is furthering their agenda, they go crazy.
That's life.
This is what they do. This is the nonsense. No, one could argue.
Folks, you see the faces of losers.
Michael Savage is calling them losers, and they're responding, and then he's acting, offended by it, I'm going to call the cops. Well, when you yell something like that, it's kind of like yelling fire in a movie theater, Michael. You're going to expect some pushback. So, no, that doesn't give them the right to get physical with you. You're not getting physical with them. But
losers, these self-righteous communists, they call themselves patriots. They are the poison of the earth. This is what they come out on a Sunday for? To protest a successful man. Not one of them has achieved anything in their lives. But they're all...
He's right. Oftentimes people who protest anything, it seems, you take most protests are college students, young people of college age, who've never really done much of anything in their lives except go to school, especially in college and even in the lowest grade schools of high school and grammar school. There's so many far left instructors that
roll on candid camera.
They're just getting one side of the argument all the time, and so they're out there protesting, and like they think we all should be listening to them. It's like you've never done anything in your life, kids. You're holding a son. You don't work. Someone is paying for your education most of the time. I mean, some of the kids do pay for it. I'm not lumping them all in one bucket, but for the most part, I'd say 90% of them are dependent on their parents' generosity and goodwill. Oftentimes, their parents are also conservatives, and it's like spitting in their face but taking their money. And so I've always
can you imagine?
I've always been kind of, I don't want to say anti-protest. I think protesting can be a worthy endeavor, depending on what you're protesting. But I always find the participants to be somewhat sketchy, in my opinion, for the most part, like the Black Lives Matter group and some of those other, anti-vax or pro-vax, or, I always find them to be...
Imagine what this country has become. Okay, folks. Have a nice day. Make this go viral.
Yeah, so I thought Michael did a pretty good job of calling them out. There wasn't that many of them. It wasn't much of a protest. I counted about 8 or 9 people. I mean, you say what you want about Donald Trump and MAGA. If they had a protest for Donald Trump, pro-Donald Trump, there'd be hundreds at least. In a spur of the moment, they'd have hundreds of people. And, they're lucky to get 10 people at one of these liberal protests. And anyway, I thought I'd jump on and try this. And I'm going to start doing more of these type of videos in addition to my other videos. And I want to, jump on and do the current events type thing, I guess, once in a while. So this was kind of just a test video because I haven't done one of these in a while. But I want to thank you for joining me, and I will talk to you soon.